a man named Liu Fang was desperate to save his ailing sister Shintong. Each day, he worked tirelessly as a food delivery driver to pay off the medical loans he had taken out for her surgery. One day, as he rode his scooter while speaking to Shintong on the phone, disaster struck. Leo was hit by a truck and thrown violently to the ground. Lying there, injured and fading in and out of consciousness, Leo wondered if this was how his life would end. The thought of leaving his sister alone in the world tormented him. Just as he began to lose hope, he felt a soft touch and awoke to find his head resting on a woman's lap. She calmly informed him that he had been in an accident and assured him that an ambulance was already on the way. Leo introduced himself and explained that he worked for Buy Low Food as a delivery man. The woman responded with a smile, telling him that she worked there too as the company's chairman. Her name was Kai Lei. In a panic, Leo mentioned he needed to call his sister. But when he checked his phone, he saw something unbelievable. A countdown stating he had only 3 minutes left to live. The device then displayed a strange message. It told him to absorb energy to survive. Confused but desperate, Leo glanced at Kai Lai, who was still distracted by a phone call. He crawled toward a parked car nearby and placed his hand on it. Instantly, strength surged through his body. Ignoring the incoming ambulance, Leo grabbed his broken scooter and sped off, unwilling to face hospital bills he couldn't afford. As he fled, Leo thought about the strange app that had come with his phone, the same app that had just saved his life by showing him how to absorb energy from machines. Not long after, his phone rang again. This time it was his girlfriend, Shin King, who began scolding him for ignoring her and failing to buy her expensive gifts. When he explained that he had borrowed money for his sister's surgery, she callously mocked him for being poor and broke up with him. Still recovering emotionally, Leo received another call, this time from his sister. Shintong, panicked and afraid, whispered that strange people were in the hospital and she was hiding from them. Alarmed, Leo realized his scooter was still malfunctioning. The app guided him to absorb more energy, and he did so from a sleek black car parked nearby. What he didn't realize was that Shin King and another man were inside. With the absorbed power, Leo supercharged his scooter and sped toward the hospital. Upon arriving, he noticed something wasn't right. The ambulance was abandoned and the hospital eerily silent. Inside, he found blood everywhere and began calling out to his sister. Suddenly, he encountered a man crawling on the ground, an old customer who used to order takeout for his dog. But the man looked strange, with blood smeared across his face, and the dog he cradled appeared just as disturbing. Sensing danger, Leo tried to retreat, only to fall backward and come face to face with Dr. Lei, his sister's doctor, who was also infected. As he tried to escape, Leo realized that more infected individuals were approaching. He ran into a nearby surveillance room and locked the door. Searching the monitors, he spotted Shintong in the second basement level, but noticed a red vein on her neck, just like the others. The sight reminded him of her confession, that she wanted to die so she would no longer be a burden. But Leo had sworn to keep her alive at any cost. The system on his phone presented him with a grim choice: remain in the room and die from starvation in 2 days, or try to save his sister. Leo chose the latter. He fashioned a weapon from a knife, stick, and fireworks. When Dr. Lei broke into the room, now fully transformed, he struck her down and used the weapon to fight off the other infected. Though shaken, he reminded himself that they were no longer human. Following the app's map, Leo found himself in the laundry room, where he discovered a vent leading to the basement. The smell was nauseating, and the narrow space made it difficult for him to move, especially with the metal brace on his shoulder. Still, he pushed through, eventually dropping into the basement just in time to witness a horrifying sight. Government officials, members of the Death Special Operations Squad, were restraining Shintong with advanced equipment. The squad leader informed headquarters that they had secured a mutant specimen. They were stunned to learn the legendary mutant was a girl who hadn't resisted capture. Suddenly, Leo shouted, out for his sister, but he was dragged away by someone in the shadows. It turned out to be security guard Jang, who chuckled at Leo's reaction. When Leo asked what was going on, Jang explained that war had broken out with the Providence Union, and in the chaos, someone had detonated a virus bomb. The result, anyone implanted with a specific chip had begun to mutate. However, Shintong's case was different. Jang had taken her to the basement after noticing her unusual behavior. Now bitten himself, Jang knew his time was short. He promised to hold off the infected while Leo searched for his sister. Leo thanked him and ran off. When prompted by the system, he chose to search for a serum in the laboratory instead of escaping, even though his combat skills were rated low. He refused to back down. Fighting through hordes of infected, Leo's weapon eventually failed, but not before he managed to kill 32 zombies and reach the lab. There, he found the serum, but as he approached Shintong, she turned on him, instinctively aggressive. Hearing his voice, however, calmed her. The system instructed him to inject the serum immediately, and when he did, her body relaxed. But the lab security system had detected the breach. A countdown began. The lab would self-destruct in 10 minutes. Presented with another choice: escape through the laundry entrance or head into the underground research facility, Leo opted for the latter. As they were leaving, the squad's lieutenant, now revealed to be a mutant, attacked. Leo pleaded for peace, but she transformed and lunged at them. Shintong reacted, unleashing her own mutant power and throwing the lieutenant back. With time running out, Leo carried Shintong through the laundry room and broke into the underground facility, using the system's help to shield them from the blast. When the explosion ended, Leo asked the system if they had survived. The system replied that the utility room had been converted into a level 1 refuge. Although crude and shabby, it had shielded them from the blast. As Shintong rested, Leo vowed to upgrade the refuge. He began with the computer, working to optimize the signal. He also asked about Shintong's health. The system explained that while the serum had delayed the merging of her black blood disease and the chip virus, the mutation would eventually complete. When it did, she would become something far worse than a normal zombie. Determined not to let that happen, Leo pledged to save her completely. The system responded that the only way to cure her was to unlock the well and build a vaccine research center, which could only be done by upgrading the refuge to level 5. When Leo asked to see the blueprints, the system declined but displayed a long list of damaged items in need of repair. After surviving the explosion, Leo Fang began examining the condition of the refuge, which the system had helped him access. He discovered that many components had been damaged, particularly the ventilation duct due to the earlier blast. Determined to restore the shelter, he repaired it using the limited points he had earned. The system notified him that missions could be completed by modifying or fixing basic items. Eager to test this, Leo chose to upgrade seemingly trivial items like toilet paper and lubricant. While holding the lubricant in his hand, he found himself wondering why his sister, Shintong, was acting strange and had forgotten so much. The system explained that based on test results, Shintong's intelligence and memory had regressed to that of a 7-year-old. She remembered only that Leo was her brother. Heartbroken, Leo silently vowed to help her recover and become the bright girl she once was. Just then, Shintong woke up and saw the lubricant in her brother's hand. Misunderstanding the situation, she called him a pervert. Embarrassed, Leo tried to explain, but she refused to listen. The next morning, at military headquarters, officials noticed that Lieutenant Lei and her team's signal had vanished from the hospital. However, the signal of their target, Shintong, was still active. As a result, a new squad was ordered to investigate. Meanwhile, Leo was still bothered by the misunderstanding with his sister. He sighed, thinking his reputation was already ruined. But when he looked over at her, she had fallen asleep. As he gently covered her with a blanket, the system congratulated him for surviving the first day and rewarded him with a newbie lottery. Spin. Leo spun the wheel and landed on a vaccine. Excited, he asked if producing the vaccine in batches could cure the zombies and save the world. The system clarified that the vaccine could only suppress the chip virus and strengthen the bodies. Resistance. It could not restore a zombie back to human form. Since his own life was also at risk, Leo injected himself with the vaccine. He then inquired about converting the hospital's Research Institute generator into a power source for the refuge. The system confirmed it was possible, but warned that the main energy core had been destroyed. A backup core, however, could be found in the dean's office on the 6th floor of the research department. A new mission was issued: retrieve the energy core and earn 900 points, which Leo saw as a crucial opportunity to gather enough resources to purchase more blueprints for upgrades. He also briefly let his thoughts drift to the idea that, as director of the refuge, perhaps he could get women to follow him, but he quickly shook the thought away. He reminded himself that the priority was survival and saving humanity. His first objective was solving the food problem. Unbeknownst to him, Shintong had been awake and listening the entire time. She called him a pervert again, making Leo groan in frustration as he tried to explain himself once more. Later that afternoon, Leo prepared to head out and retrieve the energy core. As he was leaving, Shintong pleaded not to be left behind. Unable to refuse her, he decided they would go together. He believed they had to face this new world side by side, as they could only rely on each other now. Outside, the reality of the apocalypse was undeniable. Soon, they encountered security guard Jam, who had now been infected. Leo thanked him for previously saving his life and promised he would find a way to help him. With his handmade weapon ready, he pressed on. Meanwhile, Squad Captain Lei Xin and her team arrived at the hospital and began battling zombies. Lei Xin demonstrated impressive combat skills, using special abilities while her squad watched in admiration. 5 minutes into the fight, they were awed by her strength, though they noted her one weakness: poor eyesight. Back in the building, Leo used his upgraded weapon and a Kung Fu Master chip from the system to continue searching for Uncle Zhang. He explained to Shintong that they couldn't stay in one place for long, and that their goal was still the 16th floor, where the energy core was located. Elsewhere in the hospital, a man and a woman were running through the 7 to 4 corridor, hoping to reach the stairs. The man confessed his feelings and promised they'd get married after escaping. Tragically, both were bitten by zombies, causing disappointment among others who had been hiding nearby. In desperation, the group hiding in the corridor debated who to send out to clear the path. President Lei, a company executive, suggested Zaja's younger brother. Zaya protested, but Sarah tried to stop them. Ignoring her, President Lei pushed the boy into the corridor. Just then, a zombie lunged at the boy, but Leo and Shintong arrived in time. Leo distracted the zombie, while Jojo, one of the bystanders, began to wonder if her prayers had been answered. She watched in amazement as Leo swiftly defeated the monsters. Meanwhile, Zhao Wang, President Lei's assistant, tried to flee, but encountered a woman who lured him closer only to reveal her mutant form and devour him. Leo returned to the group and introduced himself nervously. One woman asked if the government had sent him to save them, but Leo simply asked for directions to the 16th floor. President Lei, still arrogant, began to blame Leo for the situation. But Zaya, grateful for Leo saving her brother, thanked him. Leo replied that he too had a sister to protect. When President Lei tried to attack him, Leo knocked him down with a punch. Moments later, President Lei saw his assistant, Zhao Wang, approaching and told him to deal with Leo, unaware Wang was now infected. Wang bit President Lei instantly. Leo warned everyone to stay back, but Wang used his mutant tongue to strike Leo. Leo fell, but when he tried to use his weapon, he discovered it had been stuck. Another female zombie was holding onto it. He fought her off and killed her, but more zombies began swarming them. Shintong stepped in to help her brother, holding one down. Just then, Lei Xin entered through the window and began shooting zombies in the head. After clearing the area, she announced that Shintong was their target. Her team arrived, and they confirmed President Lei had been bitten. As more zombies flooded in, Leo saw a chance to escape. He urged Sarah to lead them to the 16th floor. Lei! Shin tried to stop them, but was soon overwhelmed herself. She paused, observing the new wave of zombies and wondering if they matched the descriptions of mutant zombies from the Research Institute. While escaping, Sarah told Leo that the government only rescued important people. Shintong quietly apologized for being a burden, and Zaya once again thanked Leo until he noticed she had been bitten along with her brother. The system confirmed their infection. Suddenly, a mutant zombie clinging to the ceiling like a spider revealed itself. Leo noticed it aiming for Sarah and pulled her out of harm's way. Sarah was caught off guard by his action, wondering if he liked her. Leo resumed fighting the mutants, and just as another one closed in on Sarah and Shintong, Lai Shin appeared again and eliminated the threat. Jojo screamed that more zombies were approaching from below. Leo found a door and instructed everyone to flee through it. As they ran, Leo asked Lai Shin about the rest of her squad. She admitted they had all been infected, and she had only survived thanks to her cloak of invisibility. Confused, Leo questioned why the system said only one mutant zombie should appear in 100,000 people, yet they had encountered at least 5. He then saw a mutant attack Jalaver, and when Zaya tried to help, Leo held her back. She asked what he would do if it were his sister being taken, and Leo, struck by the question, let her go. Both she and Jalaver were bitten. Lei Shin kept shooting, assuring Leo that she had a plan. Leo then used his weapon to create flames and pointed out that the ceiling mutant was the one controlling the others. Lei Shin fired at it, while Sarah and Shintong were attacked again. Shintong fought back and killed the zombie, earning Leo 100 system points for his first mutant zombie kill. Grateful, Leo thanked Lei Shin. She replied that Shintong was clearly not an ordinary human. Then, without warning, she pointed a gun at them. She said she had received orders to capture Shintong, but her aim was off. She had mistakenly aimed at Sarah instead. She admitted, frustrated, that her poor eyesight was acting up again. Leo quickly used his kung fu chip to grapple her from behind and demanded to know why she was after his sister. She responded that soldiers followed orders. As she tried to flip him, she ended up falling onto his chest and in a surprising moment, kissed him. Sarah, bewildered, yelled at them to stop and declared that she might know why the government was after Shintong. She led them to the dean's chambers, accessed the terminal, and revealed that she had once been the dean's secretary. She had overheard something about a top-secret research project known as the Godson. The Minister of Health, Jentang Shan, had ordered the hospital to conduct a secret experiment involving patients afflicted with the black blood disease. The goal was to inject them with a virus and a special serum in hopes of creating mutants. Hundreds had already failed this experiment, but it was now Shintong's turn. During this time, Like Sin revealed that the same man who ordered this twisted experiment was also behind the mission to capture Sinton. Sarah added grimly that the survival rate of the experiment was less than 1%, yet she suspected Shintong might be a rare successful mutant. Lu suddenly recalled how Shintong had behaved earlier. He remembered watching her extract something from a dead zombie and consume it. Snapping out of his thoughts, Lu asked Sarah if she knew the code to the dean's safe. She gave it to him, and he quickly retrieved an energy core. Upon doing so, the system rewarded him with 900 points. Excited, Lu informed Sarah and Sin about the refuge he had built and invited them to join him there to survive the apocalypse. Sarah immediately expressed her willingness to join, but Sin declined the offer. She stated that she wasn't interested and claimed she could survive on her own. However, she added that she had done some investigating. If Lu's claims turned out to be true, she said she would apologize, but that didn't mean she'd join him. Liu then tried to persuade her, insisting he had many reasons she should come with them. Sin challenged him, saying if he failed to give her a convincing reason, she would shoot him and leave. Liu paused, then quickly crafted an identity card using his alloy tickets, presenting himself as a government special investigator in charge of the Tinder Project, a plan to build shelters during the apocalypse. Like Sin scanned the card but couldn't verify its authenticity. Liu grew frustrated and shouted that it was the end of the world, yet she was still insisting on surviving alone. He reminded her that as a soldier, she had a duty to protect humanity and restore order. With such a selfish mindset, he didn't think she was worthy of the title, though he feared he had overstepped. Like Sin grabbed him and admitted he was right. She agreed to do something meaningful for the sake of others and accepted Liu's invitation to join his team. She added, with a teasing tone, that after kissing her earlier, he'd better be prepared to handle her presence. Later, Liu asked the system to profile his two new teammates. Sarah then led them to the cafeteria on the 16th floor, explaining that since she had joined the refuge, she wanted to contribute. There, they found various useful supplies. While Liu continued checking the system, he noticed Sintong calmly drinking milk and realized that she still retained some of her humanity. Liu wondered if the system could transform the area into a cafeteria. But his thoughts were interrupted when Sarah announced that she had found the steel bars and tarpaulin he had requested. She assumed he was planning to build a greenhouse. Like Sin soon joined them, carrying bags of vegetable seeds. She had heard about the greenhouse plan and decided to help. Impressed, Liu told her she was worthy of being on his team. He then showed the women the entrance to his refuge. Like Sin initially mistook it for a dungeon, but Liu explained that the main entrance had been blocked by stones. Inside, the refuge was much larger than it seemed. He showed them around, pointing out key areas like the restroom and generator. The generator, however, was inaccessible due to debris. Like Sin attached the device, detonated it, and cleared the rubble. Grateful, Liu replaced the energy core, significantly increasing the power output. Afterward, like San and Sarah bathed using hot water. Sarah playfully admired Like Sin's physique, who jokingly returned the compliment. Realizing Liu was waiting, they hurried to the meeting. Meanwhile, the system informed Liu that the refuge upgrade would take 6 days and 5 hours. It also revealed that he had unlocked new blueprints. Sarah and Like Sin emerged from the bathroom wearing form-fitting uniforms they found there. Like Sin accused Liu of designing erotic clothing, but he insisted the system was responsible. During the meeting, Liu asked Sarah to report their supplies. She did, but noted the urgent need for more food and energy sources. Like Sin proposed that they search a few kilometers out to scavenge for more. Liu felt proud of his resourceful team. He then took them to the pumping room, where he planned to build the greenhouse. He asked the system to begin construction, confirming a 100-point deduction for solutions. Sarah and Like Sin watched in awe as the system began building. Elsewhere, a woman interrogated a zombie, showing it a photo and asking if it had seen the woman pictured. She spoke to President Lei, who was mid-transformation into a mutant. He claimed not to know the woman and pleaded for help, offering money. Enraged, the woman beat him, blaming his kind for neglecting the poor. She referred to the outbreak caused by a chip only the wealthy could afford. The unchipped were called iron dogs. One man remarked that the missing woman had received large supplies from the minister. That night, Liu struggled to sleep, uneasy about sharing a room with women. As he distracted himself with the system, he noticed someone crawl beside him. It was Sarah sleepwalking. The next day, Liu vowed to keep the incident to himself and decided to test a new transformation ability. He obtained a pair of kung fu gloves, but just as he tried them, he received an urgent call from Kai Lai, asking for help. Liu chose to take only Like Sin on the mission to rescue Kai Lai, who had fallen into critical condition after consuming mutant essence. Like Sin informed him that Kai Lai was the president of the Liking Group and was once engaged to Zhang Tanxiang. She believed rescuing her could reveal valuable information. Sarah added that Kai Lai was trapped in a nearby mall, and they could also collect materials needed to heal Sintong. Excited, like Sim prepared for battle, but Liu warned her not to attract zombie attention. He gave her a specially modified bullet for her weapon. As Liu plotted their escape, like Sin teased him for staring at her legs, but he explained he was thinking of their exit strategy. He pointed to a car, suggesting they use it. They approached the car, but a zombie was inside. Liu used his special gloves to kill it, and they retrieved an album before taking the vehicle. Like Sin drove recklessly, prompting Liu to beg her to slow down. She admitted that during her time with the government's special task force, she had faced many dark situations, but since joining Liu, she felt happy. While driving, Liu spotted President Lei again, now fully transformed into a mutant zombie. He realized that zombies were evolving. Meanwhile, Kai Lei hid inside the mall, struggling to block doors and windows. Suddenly, she heard someone call her name. A rescue team arrived and took her to safety. Among them was a man who had escaped prison. He tried to bribe her with food in exchange for a night together. Disgusted, she slapped him, and a police officer threatened the man, forcing him to back off. Kai Lei then decided she needed to escape, realizing the place wasn't safe. Elsewhere, near the mall, a group of people were fleeing zombies. Liu and Like Sin arrived just in time to rescue two of them. They decided to rest before continuing, allowing Liu to work on a new weapon. One of the rescued men, Ob, introduced himself as an electrician. Grateful, he agreed to join the refuge after. Liu offered food. Like Sin joked that since they were all living together, and Liu was a single dog, they'd be like a family. Before dawn, Liu searched for materials to build his new weapon. His eyes locked on a giant chainsaw, and he began to piece together the idea for his invention. The next morning, Like Sin alerted everyone to a horde of zombies nearby. They needed to act quickly, especially since they were traveling with an injured person. Just then, a car drove by, distracting the zombies. As they prepared to leave, a group of men tried to capture them. Like Sin quickly shot the attackers, surprising Obi, who noted that firearms were banned. The leader of the gang then approached and introduced herself as Virus. She showed Like Sin a photo of Kyla and asked if she had seen her. Like Sin said she hadn't. As she looked around, she wondered where Liu was hoping he'd show up and meet the mysterious woman searching for Kai Lai. As Liu Fang arrived, he calmly instructed Sin to step aside. While she quietly sipped her drink, a few men approached her, asking if she was bored and why she was sitting alone. They offered to keep her company, but Sin immediately poured her drink on one of them. At that moment, Officer Liu stormed in, announcing that he had been waiting for the perfect opportunity to catch these men red-handed. A fight broke out between Liu Fang and Virus's gang. As they clashed, Virus questioned Liu's identity, wondering who he truly was as he wore a mask to hide his face. Liu engaged her directly, but struggled to pin her down until he suddenly flipped her over, restraining her by turning her face forward. When he removed his mask, Virus was momentarily stunned by his handsome appearance. To her surprise, she found herself strangely captivated by the way he was choking her. It stirred an unfamiliar sensation. Before anything more could unfold, a terrifying mutant zombie appeared. The system alerted Liu Fang that this was a dangerous mutant power corpse. He immediately dropped Virus and rushed to rescue O and another man from the gang. They made their escape, while one of Virus's underlings asked what to do. Virus ordered them to first avoid the mutant, then head toward the mall to capture Kai Lai, as their client Jen Tangzhong had paid a hefty ransom for her capture. Meanwhile, Liu thanked Kai Lei for her help in dealing with the prisoners. However, Yai grew resentful, wrongly assuming Kai Lai intended to seize control. Kai Lei ignored the hostility. Nettie soon walked away, and one of the prisoners in the makeshift cell approached Yai, suggesting that since she clearly disliked Kai Lei, they should team up to take her down. Later, Kai Lei approached Liu and shared her concern about her pregnancy. She confessed that she didn't think it was a normal baby. It had only grown for 3 days. Soon after, Hua went into labor. Liu speculated that there might be a parasite inside her. As Hua gave birth, monstrous tentacles erupted from her stomach. She became infected and began attacking the elderly grandmother. Liu fired at her, but the bullets had no effect. Amid the chaos, a gangster stabbed a man, and Yi appeared, aiming a gun at Kailei.Ya. I declared she wanted to kill Kailei, but Liu Fang realized she had been manipulated. As he tried to protect her, several men restrained him and Kailei. Two of them tore at Kailei's clothing, intending to rape and kill her. As Yai attempted to wrestle a gun from one of the assailants, a shot was fired, hitting Liu as he ran to help. Kailei was held down, and in desperation, she gave up hope, whispering that only Liu Fang could save her. Suddenly, someone appeared, wielding a chainsaw, and killed the mutated Hua. Liu arrived just in time to save Kailei and killed one of the brothers. When the second brother attempted to fight back, the mutant power corps intervened, killing him and his team, including Yai. Liu explained to Kailei that they had previously seen the mutant outside the mall and had tried to lure it away. Just then, a car crashed into the mutant. Virus and her gang emerged. One of her men identified Kailei as the target they were hired to capture. When Kailei asked if they knew her, Virus revealed that Jan Tanzhong had sent them to rescue her. Liu Fang hesitated. He realized that if he let Kailei go, he might fail his mission. While trying to explain things to her, he accidentally touched her chest, apologizing quickly. Kailei told him it was okay and listened as he explained how her fiancé had conducted cruel experiments even on his own sister. Virus pressed Kailei to choose whom to trust. After thinking it over, she chose Liu Fang, acknowledging the risks he took to save her. She said she would only believe Tang Zhong if she saw him in person. Suddenly, the mutant power corpse regenerated, forming a sword from its tentacles. Liu seized Kailei and contacted Xin, asking if the zombies had been cleared. Xin told him to hurry to the second floor. As they saw the swarm of zombies, Liu considered giving up. But remembering his sister's condition, he placed Kailei in a cart and decided they would escape through a secret underground passage. Elsewhere, officials reported the mission's completion to their commander. When questioned about the use of ammunition to destroy research equipment, the commander replied that the inquiry should be directed to Jiang Tanzhong. Back underground, Liu mounted his chainsaw on the cart and confessed to Kailei that his plan might not work. They could die. But Kailei encouraged him, kissed his forehead, and told him that if they died, they'd go to hell together. If they survived, she'd owe him her life. Liu pushed the cart, but just before reaching the exit, a wheel jammed due to the corpses blocking the path. Surrounded by zombies, Liu was scratched, but thanks to his vaccine, he remained uninfected. He used his magnetic gloves to drop a metal lighting rig on the zombies, buying time to escape. Outside, Kailei stood up and Liu recharged his gloves. They rejoined their teammates, but Xin noticed the scratch on Liu's back. He assured her that he had been vaccinated. As they spoke, Sign spotted lipstick on Liu's forehead and questioned him. Op radioed in that he had repaired their vehicle. As they prepared to leave, they heard screaming and saw people running from zombies. Liu rushed to help them, using his chainsaw to protect the survivors. Liu noticed the door's wiring was tangled. As a zombie neared a part-time worker, Liu bisected the creature and urged the worker to finish the wiring. When the door opened, Sun fired at the zombies, but bullets proved ineffective. Liu realized the zombies had evolved. Sin's sister appeared and gave her high-powered bullets. Sin fired them, but the recoil dislocated her shoulder. Liu finished the zombie and harvested its essence. The survivors asked about Liu, Yuri, and Sayoli, and were told they had been killed by Zhang San's group. Sin's sister agreed to let Liu go, recognizing his help in avenging her brothers. Sin warned her sister not to cause more trouble and left. Liu reflected on the system that had helped him and invited Kailei to join his refuge, as she had agreed before. After a moment of thought, she accepted. determined to uncover the truth about Jiang Tangzhong. The rest of the group, unsure of their next steps, began to doubt Lu's leadership. Sin vouched for him, confirming he led the Tinder project and that the refuge was real. Later, Lu and Kai Lei ventured off to gather supplies. Kai Lei suddenly jumped on Liu, startling him. Sin overheard a noise and discovered Kai Lei on top of Liu, growing suspicious. When the group faced another zombie, Liu used an electric staff and realized it had synthesized a new ability. Sign later spied on Liu again, this time catching him with the president. She began to wonder just how capable he really was. Meanwhile, Kai Lei thanked him and asked if he stole electricity from her car. He replied that his home was nearby and wanted to find a benefactor. Donning a horsehead mask, Liu went outside, but was shot at by a woman on a rooftop. Mistaking him for a zombie, she contacted her headquarters to report her findings and received orders to capture any mutant zombies and kill the rest. As Liu ran, the system helped him identify the snipers. Location. Along the way, he encountered a soldier who tried to attack him. Liu retaliated, drained the man's armor energy, and took his upgraded gloves. Meanwhile, the sniper continued her report, but was taken down by Liu's gloves before they returned to him. Realizing the government was involved, Liu raced back. He had a bad feeling. 10 minutes later, he found his Aunt Lihan and her daughter had been arrested by the government forces. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the story. If you're enjoying these intense twists, wild characters, and unpredictable turns, then hit that like button. It helps more than you know. Got thoughts or predictions? Leave them in the comments. Below, I read every one. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you're first to know when the next chapters drops. Until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and keep the story alive. See you in our next video. Goodbye.